guys, welcome to Code Decode. So in the previous video, I have covered how to create a class or an object from a real world entity that you see around, and how do you actually create an object of that class using the constructor, which is the default constructor, the parameterized constructor. If you haven't seen any of those videos, please find the links in the description below. So today we will be covering the instance variables. So if you remember, I have shown you this particular image, right? So here a particular class or an object contains the states or the properties. So for example, this dog has color, name and breed. So these three are nothing but the instance variables. So basically there are three types of variables in Java. In a particular class, you will find three types of variables: the instance variable, the local variables and the static variables. So today we will be covering the instance variables first, and what you see here is an argument here, or this is the local variable, which I will be covering in the next video. So currently I will be covering these instance variables. So what you see here are instance variables, and these variables are defined outside any of the method or constructor or any of the blocks in Java. And these instance variables are actually created when an object is created using the new keyword and destroyed when the object is destroyed. So in Java, object destruction is something which is internal to Java, and garbage collector does that. So as of now, you don't have to worry about these heavy words like what is garbage collection, how the objects are destructed and everything. So I'll be covering that in very details in the later videos when we will be covering the memory management for the Java. So currently you should understand this instance variables first. So instance variables are created whenever we create an object with a new keyword. So whenever you create an object of this dog class with a new keyword, all these three instance variables will actually get the memory. So in the main class, when I do dog equals to new dog, so currently we are giving color also, but if we don't give color or we have the default constructor also, then also these three instance variables will get memory in the memory of a particular computer. So these three things will have some default value whenever you create an object with a new keyword, and these values are actually predefined, which I will cover in the upcoming videos. So why do we actually need these instance variables? So currently you can see that whenever you need to define a particular class, you always need some properties of that object or a class. But like you can create a local variable also. So why do we actually need the instance variable here? Because because these local variables are something which is being created when this method scope starts and method scope or the life ends. So if you want this color to be to be used in multiple methods, like I want to use this color here also and here also in two methods, then I'll be using an instance variable. Now whenever a object is created, the memory is actually divided into 2-3 parts. So I'll cover that in memory management, but currently you understand that an object is always created in heap memory. That is a part of a memory, heap memory. That is a dynamic memory for us. So whenever you create these instance variables will get memory in the heap area. And whenever your object is garbage collected, so whenever you create Tommy, right? So whenever you create dog, Tommy equals to new dog, then the color, name and breed will get initialized with a default value which is empty string as of now. So if you want to see, like here you have created the color as black, but name and breed should be null. So if I try like printing something like Tommy dot control space, I'll get breed. So if I do this and if I print this, I'll print this with like syso control space and Tommy dot breed. Then what do you think will happen? I have initialized the color as black, so that's okay. But what will, like I haven't initialized anything for this breed. I haven't say what is Labrador, what is it. So what do you think will happen? So let's see. I'll run this class. Run as simple Java application. Now you see it's null. Can you see here? So whenever you initiate or initialize a particular variable, the values for these string classes is always, the default value is always null. So whenever you create a instance variable, make sure that you create an instance variable only and only when this is to be used across multiple methods and not only in one single method. Since these variables are accessible in each of these methods, say for example breed, right? So if I say here as breed and semicolon with system.out.println, it will not give me an issue. And similarly I do this here also in barking. So can you see any compile time error? So these variables are something which is being used in multiple methods without any issues. So whenever I try calling wig and barking both, breed and breed will be printed. Similarly with color. If I do this with color, then even that will be shared. So just remember this thing, that whenever you want to create anything which is shareable with multiple methods and blocks in Java, then only you should create a memory for instance variable, else your memory will be wasted, because these instance variable will get memory as soon as you create an object of this doc class, and will be destroyed only and only when the object of this doc class gets garbage collected. Then only these variables will free your memory, and if these instance variables increases in your program, you might get memory out of reach issue or the errors, and I will cover all these kinds of errors in the upcoming videos. So make sure that you create instance variable only when it is being shared with multiple methods. Now, one important thing with instance variable is that it can have access modifiers. Now, you don't know the access modifiers, right? So, I'll cover that in the upcoming video. But as of now, you just remember this point that you can provide access modifiers. So, there are 4 types of access modifiers. The default one, which is here, as there is no access modifier. Another one is private. Another one is public. And the fourth one is protected. So I'll tell about all of these in the upcoming videos, but as of now understand that we can provide these private protected also as the access modifiers in all of these instance variables. And in the next video, when I'll be covering the local variables, I'll show that these access modifiers are not applicable on local variables. So this is a very big difference between an instance variable and a local variable. And the last but not the least, that instance variables are directly called by the variable name in a static block. So for example, as of now, I'll remove these. We don't want these. So if I have a main class, right? So if I want to access this instance variable in a static method, you cannot do this until unless you create an object of it, and with that object you can do the dot operator and call the variable name. But if it is an instance method, simple method, like here, this is simple method barking, you can easily call this without any dot operator, or you don't have to create an object for the same. So that's all about the instance variables. If you have any of the doubt in any of these, one more thing, one important thing, that these instance variables are declared here and used here, right? I can also do this, that I can cut from here and I can paste here. So have you seen there is no compile time error? So and I have used this color here. So I can declare it afterwards and I can use it even before. So this is from the interview perspective, this is a very important point, as the interviewer might try to like modify these things in your code and ask like, does this compile or not? So if it is this color is a local variable, and if you try to use it first and declare it later on, it will give you compile time error. But if it is an instance variable and if you declare it later but use it even before declaring it, this is possible. So why is that possible? Because this particular thing gets memory as soon as object is created. So this is why you can always define it later and use it even before you define or declare it. So okay, let's get back to our normal code. So here, but the good practice is always declare these instance variable first and then use it. But even doing the opposite one is okay for us. So that's all about the instance variables and all the things that an interviewer can ask. I'll put some more questions from interview perspective later on once all the concepts are clear to you. So stay tuned for the local variables.